The PTR has now been updated so we can actually get the results on how it looks when you prospect titanium ore. Now, if you don't know why you would prospect titanium ore, it's to get epic gems. The epic gems get introduced in Phase 3, and they're basically a direct upgrade from the blue gems or the rare gems that you use at the moment. All the same recipes will be available, so if you currently use 16 agility gems, you're now going to be able to get 20 agility gems. If you use agility hit, you'll be able to get agility hit, but all in their epic form. Now, there's numerous ways you can get these gems. It's not just from prospecting titanium. You'll be able to use your emblems on them. You'll be able to use your honor on them. You'll even be able to transmute them with alchemy. But if you've been able to stock up on lots of titanium ore, picking it up fairly cheap, this is not only going to be an excellent way to get loads of gems straight away to put in your gear, but you're also going to be able to make a ridiculous amount of gold with a little bit of luck, because we know prospecting does take a little bit of luck. Now, I've sat for nearly 2 hours prospecting to get a decent set of data, and I've been doing 1,000 titanium ore at a time, which equates to 200 separate prospects. Before we get into the results, let me just tell you a few things, because one of them is quite irritating and I'm kind of hoping it changes before it actually goes live. Where the jewel crafting vendor is in Dalaran is the place where you're going to get your new recipes. It's 4 JC tokens per recipe. You can get these JC tokens from doing your daily quest every day, from damaged necklaces, and now from prospecting titanium. So there's a chance when you prospect titanium to get titanium powder, and you can hand 10 powders in for 1 jewel crafting token. How it actually should be in a 3.3.5 state is you just buy 1 jewel crafting token from a vendor for 10 titanium powder. However, it's in its original format where you have to constantly hand a quest in, which is only a minor inconvenience, but it's still quite annoying. So you need to spam click, hand in 10 in at a time to get a jewel crafting token. The only added bonus, which is extremely minor, that you actually get from it being in this way is every hand in you do, you also get 10 Kirantor rep. Now, I know 10 rep's not a lot, and odds are you probably don't need Kirantor rep, but it is just another way that you can actually work on your reputations if you can't be bothered to do dungeons. In terms of recipes, there's 73 recipes in total. Some are more useful than others, but if you're wanting to get absolutely every recipe, this is going to set you back 292 tokens, which is quite a lot. 292 dailies or damaged necklaces, that's a lot. That's why we get the titanium powder, to get more tokens from the titanium ore. If we was to put this into titanium, it'd be around 10,000 titanium ore to be able to get enough powder to turn into tokens to buy all the recipes. But we're going to get into that in a second when we actually break down exactly what my results were. It's worth noting as well, these couple of guys actually helped keep me sane while I was doing this, because we was all just stood at the bank spam prospecting everything we had and having a little chat as we went along. Shout out to Brutal, who plays on Mankrik, the same server as my Shadow Priest, because if he manages to finish prospecting all of his ore before this video goes out, I'll also include his results at the end. Just gives us a little bit more data to play with. So as I said at the start, I was doing 1,000 titanium ore at a time, which is 200 prospects. In my first set of results, I got 51 epic gems, which we'll just stop there for a second. I didn't specifically say, oh, it was 2 cardinal rubies, 9 dreadstones, whatever. Obviously, you can see in the footage exactly what I got, but we're just saying how many epic gems, how many rare gems, how many green gems, how many titanium powder. And the reason I'm doing it like this is because the specific gem that you get is going to be so random that it's going to be very difficult, and we'd need ridiculous amounts of data to be able to get an idea on Cardinal Ruby versus Dreadstone versus King's Amber or whatever, which whilst we're on King's Amber, it's also worth mentioning that everybody that's engineering and has got a Jeeves recipe just sat there waiting to use will need a couple of King's Ambers to craft it. So these are going to be probably in equal value to Cardinal Ruby, especially for the first couple of weeks. And another side note that I really should have mentioned right at the start of the video is you do need 450 JC to prospect this. So if you've been sat on like 440 thinking, well, there's no point trying to get it to 450 until the epic gems come out, you will need 450 to actually prospect titanium. Probably worth getting it finished off now. Anyway, back to the results. The first 1,000 titanium I prospected, I got 51 epic gems, 44 blue gems, 286 green gems, we just end up vendoring all those I suppose, and 136 titanium powder. So that would be 13 Dalaran jewel crafting tokens, which would be enough to get 3 recipes straight away. That's not including any tokens you've already got. So you'd be able to get 3 recipes straight away, and you'd have 51 epic gems to play around with. That's quite a lot to say that it was only from 1,000 titanium ore, which I say 1,000, that is quite a lot, don't get me wrong, but still, there'll be people sat on more than me, and I've got 10, 11k now. The second set of results weren't quite as amazing. We only got 43 epic gems, 43 blue gems, a lot more green gems being 310, but we also did get more titanium powder, being 152. So that would have worked out to 15 tokens handing all this titanium powder in. The third set of results were absolutely amazing, being 66 epic gems. 66, I mean, that's really good. And we actually got 66 from the fifth set as well, which we'll get into in a sec. We also got 52 blue gems, 313 green gems, but this was actually quite a low amount of titanium powder, only being 130. But that still is 13 tokens, or again, 3 recipes. The fourth set was actually a good average between the first 3 sets, being 53 epic gems, so not quite as many as the third set, but certainly more than the first and second. 49 blue gems, 326 green gems, which was actually the most green gems out of any of these sets of results, and 146 titanium powders, giving us 14 Dalaran jewel crafting tokens. And finally, again, the fifth set was actually particularly good, being 66 epic gems, 54 blue gems, 309 green gems, and 122 titanium powder. A little bit low on the titanium powder here, only being 122, but it's still 12 tokens, meaning you can get 3 recipes. So I never actually got enough titanium powder to ever get more than 3 recipes. It was just sometimes we was closer to 4 than we was to 3. So what does this mean? We won't worry too much about the blue gems because they've been obtainable since the start. Green gems are just worth nothing, so we won't worry about those either. Titanium powder, out of every 1,000 titanium, you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to be able to buy 3 recipes. You're going to get 12 tokens at a minimum, maybe up to 15. That's per 1,000 titanium ore. The important part is the epic gems. These are going to be what everyone wants and probably what you want as well. So what is the percentage chance to actually get it per prospect? So to get an epic gem out of the first set, we were sat on around 25.5%, so 1 in 4. On the second set, it was 21.5%, so just over 1 in 5. On the third and the fifth set, where we got 66 epic gems, this was working out to around 33%. And the fourth set, which was sat pretty comfortably in the middle, was around 26.5%. So taking all of this and putting the 5,000 ore together, you're looking at about a 27.9% chance to get an epic gem. Now, whilst this will vary from person to person, I think prospecting 1,000 ore, which works out to be 1,000 separate prospects, is a decent enough data size to at least get a rather rough average. Even if you was to say, all right, let's say it's around 25%, so a 1 in 4, you can more or less say the majority of the time, out of one single stack of titanium ore, you're going to get an epic gem. Now, depending on how much the epic gems are selling for, you could make gold all day long just prospecting titanium ore, because on my server, as we speak, it's about 100 gold a stack. And I see some of these gems, as I say, particularly King's Amber at launch and Cardinal Ruby for the entirety of the expansion, being at least 100 gold each. I mean, Scarlet Rubies on my server are still going for over 100 gold for things like Delicate Scarlet Ruby or Bold Scarlet Ruby. So Cardinal Rubies definitely going to be, I don't know, 200 gold? So if you could get 1 Cardinal Ruby out of a stack of titanium ore, you've literally doubled your money. Hopefully this has given you an idea on whether you should quickly rush to the auction house and buy every single titanium ore that's on there, because I think I'm gonna. If you enjoyed the video, as always, be sure to like the video because it helps a lot. Subscribe to the channel. Consider joining as a member below. There's multiple tiers that you can join at, and you'll see members-only streams that nobody else gets to see, and you can even check all the past live streams that I've done for members only as well. So even more content to consume. See you on the next one.